morning. It's Wednesday, November 15th. Wow, lots of wild stuff going on. I got ERs to cover. Quickly, though, PPI just came in really light, like month over month, deflationary was negative 0.5% versus positive 0.1%. Honestly, I have no idea how the market's going to react to that. I guess the gut, the initial instinct, I guess, of a lot of people in retail is, oh, that's great, right? Uh, lower rates, or they're not going to increase rates, like inflation is under control. But on the other hand, I do know deflation is also viewed as a negative thing. Let me just see how QQQ is reacting to this over here. Pretty wild, right? Spiked on that print to 389.49. Now it's back here to 387. The only thing I want to look at is where we are with TLT and ARK. Okay, I'm mostly into risk assets, micro caps like ARK, IWM. Let's just see if TLT is still above that 50 DMA. So that's good. Then the 50 DMA here is at 87.84. So as long as that's looking good, and then you see RK above the 200 DMA at 40.83, you know what? I'm just going to honor those technicals as a line in the sand for a bull versus a bear market in risk assets, including IWM. All right. That's kind of how I'm going to focus on this. You can see Bitcoin up 1.5% today. As well. It didn't do well yesterday when risk assets were soaring. Maybe it's going to have a little bit of a lag effect and catch up today. Something to look into. I'm just bullish Bitcoin geopolitically in the world. But let's go to some of these ERs and then we'll go to our top picks list. So I don't own Target or Globee. I'm not going to do anything with them, but those are two of the bigger names that reported this morning. Want to let you know what's going on. Target beat their EPS by about 48% on the EPS, but the revenue was just a slight beat. Their guidance was a 5% on EPS and inline revenue, right? That's not the kind of report I like to chase. I really like to see you got the big beat for the quarter. What happens very often is you'll see this big pre-market pop, and then because the guidance didn't follow through on like a 50% beat for the next quarter, then it pulls back. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it could happen. All right. So I'm just not interested in playing things that the guidance is not as good as the quarter. Okay. And let me just check the technicals here. 111.29, although this has been down. Wow. Huge for a very long time. Oh my Lord. Very long time. So maybe they beat the expectations game with this and it goes, but plenty of the other things that we're going to be looking at today. So, and then Globee, they missed revenue by like 6% or so, at least the guide. And for the quarter that just passed, they also had missed. Let me see. The Q4 guide, 178 to 186 at the midpoint, that's 6% lower than the 195. And I think they missed pretty bad here. Here we go. Q3 missed by 7 divided by 5%, it looks like. So Q3 missed by 5%, Q4 guiding revenue down by 6%. So not good. I don't know how to quantify that in terms of, do we short from here already down 24%? Wow. Let's just take a look at this. All right. How come it's not showing me? It's not showing me. Okay, 29.48. Wow. 29.48 is below that 31.93 low. Wow, it's below that 31.50 low. I'm just going to steer clear of this. I have one potential idea on this. Potential idea, if you want to take a small risk. Globee, they're partners with Shopify, okay? If Globee is down 5-6%, does that mean Shopify might be disappointing or having light sales? Maybe, maybe not, because I don't know the exact relationship between the two. I know they help with the international payments, okay? But I don't know if you can draw that conclusion that if Globee revenue is down, Shop is down. But if you were going to just take a small risk, and it's got to be small because we don't know the exact relationship, at least I don't. If you know it and you know that it shouldn't have any impact and it's completely meaningless, then you want to stay away from the trade idea. If you know exactly how Globee is integrated with Shop and how it might be foretelling that, yeah, maybe Shop revenue is going to go down, then this might be an opportunity to, as a small bet, short Shop today on the basis that other market participants also know this and they'll be selling Shop today. Okay, so that's an idea. I don't have high conviction in it. Okay, because as I said, I don't know exactly. All I know is that the international credit card processing and shopping cart is integrated. The international component is integrated into Shopify. That's all I know. But that's a pretty big miss, both for Q3, 5%, and then Q4, 6%. So Shop having a great day yesterday, like really exploding recently off these numbers. Could be interesting. Could be something to look into. All right. In fact, I'm going to put it up here in the. Oh, yeah. Okay. I got to remove it from there and then put it back in. I'll put it on the list, okay, as an idea, but certainly I'm not going to like push it because it's a very speculative idea. Okay. And then Pan W's tonight, JD this morning. I didn't look at it. Didn't have time. Zim was this morning. I didn't look into it. Let's get to Quicken VTSI. I own both of these stocks. I know these companies fairly well. Okay. VTSI was a crush job, okay, for the quarter that just passed. Okay. The numbers that they reported 15-cent EPS beats 5-cent loss, 7.56. I mean, this is huge, right? You can't do math on the EPS really, unless you annualize that to go to 60 cents, throw a 20 PE on it. That gives you a $12 stock price. You could do that. You can take the revenue and say it's a 30% beat on the revenue. If I did my math right there, 25% beat. Okay, they beat revenue by 25%. Okay, so it looked great, and the qualitative descriptions in the press release were really good in terms of the momentum they're having and the sales momentum. And oh, by the way, gross margins was like almost a record, like really jumped. Okay, caveat though, and I was buying this heavily in after hours to the conference call transcript last night, and a couple things stood out to me, which may not be as rosy as it seems. Okay, it doesn't mean it's not going to go up. It probably will go up today. It's already up 12%. Okay, doesn't mean it's not going to go to $10 in a swing time frame. It very well could, but in terms of wow, this is a 25-30% beat. Wow. 15-cent versus, are we going to get a rapid reading today to like $7, $8, $9 like that? I think that might be off the table because in the transcript, there were a couple things that stood out to me. Let's see if I can find them. Maybe I got to go to my photos here. Okay, here we go. Booking and backlog. Okay, bookings and backlog were not impressive. It was like steady or even, even slightly down actually. Backlog went down from 16.4 million to 16 million, and not necessarily negative in and of itself if they're fulfilling backlog quicker. And then also bookings were 8.4 million last quarter, but down to 7.3 million this quarter. Okay. So bookings for the quarter, they received booking. Okay. So those 7.3 million bookings, what's that say about the next quarter coming up? Okay. So, and then the other thing is that the gross margin, they said that gross margin was due to some sort of anomaly, some way they did the accounting, and that the gross margin will be more similar to what it was in Q1, right? Okay. Those are the negatives, but they're not terrible negatives. I mean, like I said, I think this is a good catalyst. Maybe it's even going to be an inflection point catalyst on the chart, right? With a big beat like that, with really good qualitative guidance, right? But they didn't offer quantitative guidance of, what's the revenue and EPS going to look like next quarter. Like maybe you can read something into it from the bookings not being huge and from the margins, they're saying maybe not going to be as good next quarter. However, the qualitative commentary of the sales efforts they're doing, really, really positive. Okay, basically the new CEO taking over and making everything a lot more efficient and cost efficient and getting the sales funnel really working. Like all of that's been a really impressive turnaround for this company. And again, if you just kind of annualize that EPS, as a back of the napkin math thing, you're talking about 60 cents EPS. You're talking about a 10 PE for a company that's really turned things around and looks like they're growing now and have the capacity to grow going forward with what they've done on the sales side. So I think it's a good report. The stock deserves to be up today. You see the 200-day moving average at 592. It's above that right now. Okay. If the stock wants to, in a swing period, make a move towards 860. I certainly wouldn't, come and say, oh, that shouldn't happen. I think it certainly could happen. All right. But as far as, are we going to spike to 850 today? I think that might be off the table. Okay. I think it might be off the table because, again, the bookings number was light and a comment about gross margin. So that's VTSI. Okay. I like it. I bought it yesterday. But initially I was thinking we could spike to $7 to $8 today, but after reading the transcript, I guess anything's possible, but I think lower likelihood that happens. Okay. That's VTSI. Quick. Sorry. Quick. Everyone is expecting a good report and they got a good report. It ended up being pretty much in line. I didn't even realize the analysts were all the way up at 13 cents. Okay. Actually, 13 cents missed 14 cents estimate. Sales 6.67 versus 6.5. So when I saw that, I didn't realize the analysts were up there already. I thought I had the in because I was on the conference call last night and I knew they were going to have nickels in EPS this quarter. And I thought it was going to surprise the market. So when I saw that, I'm like, not too excited. But guess what? This is in a way a little bit reverse situation than VTSI. The quantitative outlook for Q4, in my view, was actually much better than VTSI. VTSI didn't really provide quantitative outlook aside from bookings and gross margin forecasts. Okay. But Quick actually gave guidance for Q4, gave a revenue number and an EPS number, and it was pretty freaking good. I think the revenue number was, we're at 6.67 million. Let me see if I can find it real quick in the seeking. Can I find it? I didn't screenshot it this time. I should have screenshotted it for you guys. But it was something on the order like revenue sequentially will be up like $1 million, something like that. Okay. And EPS, they're talking about 15 cents EPS. Okay. So basically they're saying, here we go. What we did this past quarter is not only reproducible, but we're going to build on it. And we just had record revenue. I mean, yeah, we just had record earnings. I don't know if it's record revenue, but it's record earnings. They said we're going to have another record earnings next quarter. So that's pretty good. Here we go. It's in here somewhere. All right. You don't have to trust me, but trust me. All right. You can go look at it. It's somewhere in there that they're going to have a nice sequential bump quarter over quarter and nice EPS again. Okay. Better EPS next quarter. So sequential growth. That's what I like to see. I love seeing sequential growth. Spare me about seasonality. I don't care about seasonality. If you're growing, your sequential growth should overcome seasonality, right? So I don't like these year-over-year comparisons these companies do. I just want to see sequential growth all the time. All right. So that's the story with the earnings. So let's go to our list. Actually, before I go to the topics, I also want to mention here. Let's go to our Israel war list. Wow, is that a real bid there and wrap? Okay, so look, last night, Israel went into what they claim to be Hamas headquarters, is Al Shifa Hospital. So, we try not to get political, but politics could impact the economy. We got to talk about it. So this is the, from a perception standpoint, a lot of the world is like, oh my gosh, Israel's going to the hospital, the main hospital, the biggest hospital, where there's still a lot of civilians. Even though they've been given a month to evacuate, they refuse to evacuate. Probably, in my view, they refuse to evacuate because Hamas is actually there, and Hamas is, in charge, and they're making sure people don't evacuate because they don't want Israel to go in and fight their headquarters down below in the tunnels and right below the hospital. But guess what? Here's the problem. There could be an outcry in the world and greater demonstrations, but more importantly, Hamas and even Hezbollah, I think, they both put statements last night out right after Israel went in, and they pivoted a little bit. They were like, it's almost like, okay, they didn't want Israel to come in. Now Israel came in. Now what's their pivot? Their pivot is it's all the fault of the USA. It's all Biden's fault. It's all the USA's fault. And they emphasize this 2 or 3 times. And I have to tell you, to me, that's a sign right now. And I don't know if they already are, but like I would think every U.S. asset across the world's got to be on high alert. Every military base across the world got to be on high alert. We know that Hamas is in the United States. I would think, is this going to push Hamas into a corner to get desperate and say, oh my gosh, this is the U.S.'s fault. U.S. is supporting Israel to come into our hospital or headquarters, whatever it is. So now, could they lash out? Could there be terrorism? I think that there's a greater terrorism threat right now because of what happened last night, both domestically and on U.S. bases throughout the world. So that brings some geopolitical uncertainty. So I want you to think about this list we have, these Israel war stocks. Up to you how you want to play it. Some of these I just hold long term. If you want to take a small bet on something because of this risk, you can go ahead and do that. But here's the list. It's RAP, which is the Riot. Let's call it the Riot stock. Axon also, let's call it a Riot stock. Geo border stock. CXW border stock. POW ammunition stock. Gold, obviously. World War III fears, called that. Physical gold, PHYS. And we have the military stocks. ESLT, silver, poor man's gold. You have the other military stocks, RTX, LMT, NOC. We have other gun stocks there, RGR, SWBI, and of course, Bitcoin, which is, again, the Armageddon play with gold and silver. So I think this list deserves attention today. Keep it in mind. Maybe if you'd like to play however you want to play it. Like I said, I have long-term positions in gold and POW and PHYS and Bitcoin. RGR. Okay, so SWBI, I got a lot of these. Let's get back to now the top picks, see what we got going. All right, I gave that idea. Oh, wow, look at Siri. Let's look at the chart on Siri. So did I even talk about Siri yet? Okay, gave you this alert late last night. We got in early this morning. I think we got out at it even surpassed our first target that we gave you this morning, which is 559. So Warren Buffett initiates a position in Siri. This is probably the top pick of the day today. Okay. So 559, let's see where the next target is. And let me see where I even got 559 from. I forget. I got to look. Must have been a candle. Yeah, okay. Here it is. 559 must have been this right here. Yeah. Okay, you see that? Right there. This little spike right here, 559. And then next, you go to this candle here, which is 592. All right. So right now, it's trying to play in that real estate between 559 and 592. I got to give a caveat on this to be careful of. Okay. This is a $19 billion market cap times, add another 16% to that. So it's over $20 billion. Over $20 billion. So it's not as cheap as you think. Okay. So there's that. Maybe there's going to be opportunities for reentry at the open. Like maybe we're going to see some sort of gap fill or attempted of a gap fill right at the open when we're up this much. Again, because if this was like a little micro cap, then I would be like, okay, maybe it can gap and run. But because this is over $20 billion, it might be, this is retail volume in here. Institutions haven't played yet. Money is going to move this, not the retail volume. So it could be that some institution wants to sell and this is their opportunity and they're going to sell at the open. Okay, so think about that. And then 559 is your support level for right now. And then the target level is 590 or whatever. I showed you the candles. But you got to think about what's next below 559 in case this really spikes down at the open, because it is up a lot for a $20 billion company to be up 17%. I would look at, again, this is maybe the number one pick of the day today. It's going to be highly liquid. At some point when you find the bottom, it's going to reverse sharp today. So, where's your support here? I mean, obviously you got the gap fill level at about 490, yesterday's close. But with Warren Buffett buying, is it going to go all the way to gap fill? I doubt it. So, man, I don't know. I mean, there's levels in here. You can see these consolidation areas. So each of these consolidation areas are potential levels of support, like in the low 540s, over here in the 525 area. So something you just got to watch today. And I gave you all these levels to look at, but this is definitely going to be the top pick if you're a trader. I think Siri is the place to be today. Okay, we'll move that to the top. And we gave that speculative idea of shorting shop. Okay, very speculative. There was some news on SPRC, little penny stock, 2.28 million market cap. Oh my gosh, up 67%. They had some all-timers news. I'm just drawing your attention to look at it. You make your own decision. Okay, I didn't look at the press release deeply. Most likely it's garbage and it's a pump and dump, but that doesn't mean it's not going to go up first. It could. Let's see what the short position is. Only not very high. Okay, there's no really short position here, which, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it tells you it's not as trashy as I think. So, but anyway, it's only a 2 million market cap. You can go ahead and look at the news. Oh, it's not even here. Are you kidding me? Okay, it's in Story Trading app. Here we go. What are your thoughts on this all-timers data? All right, we do have great news feed, by the way. Oh my gosh, performance can be improved, as you can see here. What's going on? Okay, now it's loading. But we catch a lot of things that, for some reason, are not on other apps. And then also our format, I think, crushes all the other apps too. Okay, you can see all the news is consolidated news feed of your watch list. You get the consolidated why it's moving alerts. Pretty cool stuff. All right, so you can go ahead, and then I made it a nugget, that news this morning, so you can actually click on home and you can see the SPRC all-timers data and take a look at that and make your own decision. If it's, oh, come on. Are you serious, Benzinga? Come on, man. Are you serious? Jeez, you got to fix your website. That's not cool, buddy. All right. Anyway, okay, that's that. So on your radar, if you want to play a penny stock, highly volatile, I'm sure you can have a lot of fun with it if you're a good trader, or you can get killed. Okay, so that's the story with SPRC. All right, I want to bring air to your attention. Air, I started adding, I already had it, but like a smaller position. I doubled my position yesterday, earlier in the morning, with risk being on and RK breaking the 200. And this has just been killed, right? So it looks like it's due for a rebound, and even Tesla's been going up. Man, Tesla with lower rates, solar sector was exploding yesterday. Tesla, we're now at the 50 DMA. I mean, this is the line in the sand, 240.87. Okay, if you're thinking of shorting it, I guess that's where. But man, do you want to short this market? I don't know. I don't know about that. But going back to this, okay, so Tesla making a huge comeback. Air looks like it has a lot of catch up to do. Okay, but I've noticed that Air is not really trading with Tesla. Guess who Air is trading with? It's trading with onsemi. Ever since the onsemi earnings report, because this is about silicon carbide demand, which speaks to EV. But in any case, the Air chart exactly looks like the on chart. Okay, so if you want to get an idea of where Air is going, if you want to look for some sort of market inefficiency or something, and say, oh my gosh, on pop 10%, it's above the 20 DMA, but Air isn't yet. All right, when you see a situation like that, it's a matter of minutes to maybe an hour or something like that for then Air to catch up. So that's something to look at. I'm in it. I said I doubled my long-term position yesterday in my retirement account. But there are opportunities here because a lot of risk assets have exploded, and on really hasn't, and on and Air have not really rebounded. Even Tesla has rebounded much, much better than on and Air. Okay, so keep that on your radar as like a laggard, that if the market keeps going up, it's got to catch up. It's going to catch up. Okay, it's just a matter of when. All right, then we have Celsius. Finally, the split today, 3-for-1 split. This has been a disaster, quite frankly. This trade didn't work out. I mean, I got my long-term shares that I'm keeping, but if you're trading this, yeah, hasn't been good. What can I say? Maybe we'll get lucky today. Maybe people will see the lower price of 53 and make a move towards the 20. Other than maybe there's a large seller. Apparently someone passed away, like a co-founder of the company passed away recently, and they're thinking the state is selling the shares. That's the only explanation I have. Okay, that's Celsius. SMCI, wow, this was their number one pick yesterday, unofficially. We didn't have a number one. Remember I said, what was it yesterday? It was Joby. I was like, Joby would have been our number one if we didn't have the light CPI. And instead I said, because it's light CPI, I came up with a list of like 5 to 8 growth companies with good fundamentals. All right. SMCI was the number one I listed at the top. I didn't call it the number one pick, but I just ordered it right at the top. And it's crazy because I gave it 298 target. And this thing, man, what was it trading at yesterday? It was like look at this. I guess at Showtime, it was, I mean, the stock at Showtime was 265, I guess it looks like. 265. It went to 303. What the heck did it go? It went to 303 this morning? Oh my gosh, it went to 303 this morning. So anyway, it was like 260, and I'm like 298. So you're like your resistance, your swing target area. I got there in one day that afternoon. All right, well, I got it in my long-term account, but man, I wish I traded this. Oh my Lord. You can see it. You can see it easily. The double, now it's a triple top, I guess, at 298. Right there, these two candles. And then the next thing I see after 298, you got this gap in here, but before the gap, you got here, right here. You see that? Very easy to see. 315-ish, okay? 317, 315-ish, something like that. So if we break 298 here, it's 296 by 297. It looks like it could do that today. Then if that, well, man, I'm running late. 296, 297, if that can become support, I'm sorry, 298, then 315 is your target. I could have wrapped this up. Okay, let's put SMCI near the top. All right. And I just got to say, Lilly, every day, buy the dips is working every single day on Lilly. All right. So we got to put, okay, Siri on the top. Yeah. SMCI after that. Okay. These are, oh my gosh. All right. How are we going to do this? No, I'm running so late. Edit. Okay. So Siri, SMCI, shops that, speculative idea. Lilly. Okay. Siri, SMCI, Lilly. And then we have our quick VTSI Air Celsiuses of the world. All right. And then I'm missing something. Oh, by the way, Joby has been doing all. Okay, that's enough. I gotta go. So Siri. So you got the levels on Siri. We went through that. We talked about levels of SMCI. Lilly, it's like buy the dips. It's going to all-time new highs. Okay, with constant great news flow. And then I told you already what I think about Quick and VTSI. I gotta go. That's it. Look at Air up 4%. We're about to open. Yep, it's kind of legit at $27. Looking good. All right. Good luck, guys. Take care.